Hello, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for joining me here this morning on Narcissism 101, cracking the code with me, Paul Wisdom. All right, guys, so if you want a one-on-one session, as usual, please email me at paul.wisdom_03@hotmail.com, or you can send a text message to 647-406-3057 if you want to talk, if you need some advice, if you need some more help, if you have some questions about any of my videos, if you if you're trying to figure out whether the person you're dealing with is a narcissist or anything like that, please feel free to reach out. If you want to call, just send a text to that number and just let me know that it's you, just so that I know that it's you, and then we can get you the help that you need. All right, so without further ado, we're going to get into it now. So, what we're going to talk about today, the title of this video is Gaslighting is Demonic. Yep. Gaslighting is definitely demonic, and we're gonna get into why it is and why it's so dangerous and why it destroys why it's destroying so many people these days. And I don't say that lightly, because gaslighting is a very nasty thing that all narcissists do. And in fact, I made a video on it. And if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for being here. I made a video on gaslighting called the tactic that all narcissists use. That's the title of that video. If you're new to my channel, please watch that video. So what we're going to talk about is gaslighting is demonic. So what we need to understand first and foremost is that all narcissists thrive off of chaos, confusion, and control. I mentioned this in all of my videos because it's actually very, very true. Because all narcissists, they do thrive off of chaos, confusion, and control. Narcissists, they love chaos. They thrive in chaos. It's what keeps them going. It's what gives them supply. It's what gives them energy to keep on abusing people, right? Because that's what narcissists do. They abuse people. They're working full-time for the devil. And they're working full-time for the devil because these are all the things, gaslighting, manipulation, stonewalling. All these things are all things that the devil does, right? And so gaslighting is demonic because the devil does this to us in our everyday lives. Think about your life for a moment. Think about the many times when you were doubting yourself or questioning your worth, or when somebody in your life, whether that's a parent, whether that's a sibling, whether that's a teacher, whether that's your spouse, maybe even your spouse, right? Who you found out is a narcissist, right? I'm sure that we've all had times where we've doubted ourselves, right? Where we were questioning when we were talking to this person, when we were in touch with this person, we were for some reason doubting ourselves every time we spoke to that person. We were doubting ourselves. We were questioning our worth. We were second guessing some of the things that we said. Did I actually say that? No. I don't remember saying any of that. I think that maybe you got it mixed up, and you find yourself questioning yourself, right? This is known as gaslighting, when the narcissist has you questioning yourself. When for example, let's just say that you guys were supposed to go on vacation this day, and you planned it out to the date. You put it in your calendar. It's right there in your calendar, and you know it is because you guys planned it out, right? And then let's just say that you go to the narcissist, which could be your spouse, it could be romantic, or it could be a friend or boyfriend, or whatever it is. You can replace whatever you want in this equation here. Let's say that you approach them and you say, do you look forward to this vacation we're going on? I can't wait. And then you're saying it's on this date, don't forget. And then they're just like, no, it's not on that date. And you're just like, what? Yes, it is. And they're just like, nope, that's not true. And then they tell you another date, and now you're confused, and you're just like, no, it's on my calendar. I took it down. They're just like, no, that's wrong. And then now you're going back and forth. And now, do you know what the narcissist is doing when you're going back and forth? You know what they're hoping that you're going to do? What the narcissist is hoping you're doing in this situation is that you're going to be the one that says sorry, that you're going to be the one that says, no, you're actually right. Because narcissists, remember, they want chaos, confusion, and control. And they know that if they can cause chaos with you, then that means that they can control you. And if they can control you, that means that they can cause confusion, right? And confusion is gaslighting. Right? That's what the narcissist is doing when they cause chaos. They're confusing you, right? And it's to mess with your mind. It's to play mind games with you. That's the main reason why gaslighting is so demonic, because it's a mind game that the narcissist is playing with you, right? They're playing with your brain. They're trying to get you off kilter. They're trying to make you not be confident in yourself so that you become codependent on them. That's one other reason how narcissists isolate people, right? They tell the people that they're isolating, whether that's romantic, whether that's a sibling, whether that's a teacher, whether that's a boss, right? If it's in a romantic setting, right? The narcissist you're dealing with, they're gonna tell you that everybody in your family is bad for you. They'll say things like, "Why do you still talk to your brother? Why do you talk to your sister? They're not good for you. They're not good people. They've been telling so many lies about you. I've spoken to them, and they say that you're unstable, that you have problems." And then you say, "What? I've known them for 20 or 30 years. They would never say something like that about me. What are you talking about?" And then you're starting to doubt yourself, and then you're questioning maybe the person who turns out to be a narcissist in my life, my romantic partner, maybe they're right, because my romantic partner would never do anything to hurt me, and I love him or her so much. And so then you start questioning, is my family bad? Is my family good? And then at some point, because you love the narcissist, but you didn't know that they were a narcissist, you love them, you say to yourself, all right, you know what? Maybe I should stop talking to them because they really don't care about me. And before you know it, your family stops talking to you because you're narcissist. What you don't realize that they were doing is behind your back. They were, when you weren't around, they were talking with your family members and they were gaslighting them, getting them into the narcissistic fog, the sunken place. They were gaslighting them to think badly about you. And then your family, they feel uncomfortable talking to you because of all the things that your narcissistic spouse, or partner said about you, right? And then now they have you isolated. Now your family doesn't want anything to do with you. Now your friends don't talk to you. Now, whenever you're around your family and friends, something feels off. It feels like there's an elephant in the room that nobody wants to address. And now you're really questioning yourself. Am I the problem? Did I do something wrong? See, narcissists, they do this. And they do this so that they can cause chaos. They want to cause chaos in your life to confuse you so that they can have control. Remember, all narcissists' endgame is to control people, right? That's what they want. And that's why gaslighting is so demonic. That's why gaslighting is the narcissist's most favorite tactic in their tool belt of manipulative tactics. That's why it's the narcissist's favorite tactic, because they know that if they can gaslight your mind, if they can get control of your mind, aka mind control, then they know that they can break you down very, very slowly. And they do it very, very slowly, just by the fact that they have you isolated now. And when I say isolated, what I'm talking about is that now you don't have any family. Now you don't have any friends. Now you don't have a support system to lean on. Now you're doubting yourself, and now you're becoming codependent on them to do all the thinking for you. Right? And so that's why gaslighting is so demonic. Maybe think about you in your family, for example, right? Let's say that you want to, be a teacher. Let's say you want to be a chef. Let's say that you want to, be in law enforcement. Whatever you want to do, you can put anything you want to in this equation. And let's say that your family, let's say that your mom or dad is the narcissist, or both your parents, don't matter. Let's say both your parents are the narcissist. And let's say that you've been trying to get this certification. You've been working your ass off, and you've been working so hard, and you really want it, and you're passionate about what you do, right? But for some reason, you're just not meeting the mark at this point. You're not passing the exams, you're not passing the tests, and you just feel you're not making the mark, let's say, right? Like you want to. And then let's say your family, they say something to the effect of, "Don't you think you should try something else? Don't you think that this isn't the right thing for you?" As opposed to encouraging you and saying, "You know what? I understand what you're going through. You are going to make it. You're such a hard worker. You keep pushing forward. You are definitely going to make it." Instead of saying something like that, now they place seeds of doubt in your mind. They gaslight you. And then now you're starting to doubt yourself and saying, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I should lead this career that I'm passionate about and go to something that I'm not passionate about. Maybe it could very well be your siblings too that says that very thing. Let's say that one of your siblings is the narcissist, and maybe they're jealous of you. This is your jealous, covert, narcissistic sibling, by the way. And let's say that you have a specific skill set, that something you're really really good at, right? Let's say that you're really good at singing. Let's say that you're really good, at playing a specific instrument. Let's say that you're good at cooking, for example, or cleaning something. Like I said, you can put anything you want to in these equations here. Let's say that you have a specific skill set, and your sibling says, "Oh, you're not good at that." Even though people tell you all the time you're really good at singing, they say you're not a good singer. You suck. And then you're starting to doubt yourself, and then you feel like every time you're around this sibling or parents or whomever that is your family, you feel like you're walking around on eggshells. You feel uncomfortable because you don't know what they're going to say next. You don't know what they're going to do next, right? And now you start doubting and questioning your worth, and this is all gaslighting. They're gaslighting you so that they can confuse you, because now you're confused. You're like, you told me all my life that I was good at this, but all of a sudden now you're talking bad about me, and you can't understand what's going on because you feel as though, well, they're my family, they would never do anything to hurt me. But the truth of the matter is this, guys: those closest to you can do the most damage to you. Now, am I saying every family is bad? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. Don't misinterpret what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that people who know you the best, like let's say close friends, close family, they can do the most damage to you because they know a lot about you, because they spend so much time with you. Maybe you grew up in the home with them, right? Maybe you spent a lot of time with these siblings, right? And maybe you spent a lot of time with your cousins or your aunts or your uncles, right? But they know you best, better than any other stranger, better than your spouse or whomever, right? And so if you have jealous people in your family, right, perhaps you need to, create a plan to distance yourself from them and have nothing to do with them. Because gaslighting, if they gaslight you enough, you can actually get sick from all that gaslighting, because it's mental abuse, because like I said, it deals with your brain, your cognitive dissonance, your cognitive function, right, of your brain. And so they know that they can mess with that. And remember this, guys, narcissists know exactly what they are doing. They know that who they can gaslight, and they know who they can't gaslight, okay? Narcissists know exactly what they are doing. They know when somebody's caught on to their abusive tactics, and they know who they they know who they can keep stuck in the narcissistic fog, the trauma bond, or the sunken place. They know who they can keep stuck there, right? And so think about your workplace, for example. Let's say that you're working with a boss who turns out to be a narcissistic workplace bully, or maybe it's a colleague or something like that, a coworker, whomever it is, right? Let's say that's somebody that you work with. Yeah, your boss, for example. And let's say that you're working alongside your boss, and your boss they watch you from afar. They see how you move. They watch how you talk with your colleagues and your coworkers. They see that you're amazing at what you do. They themselves are an insecure boss. They don't want to see anybody, surpass them. They don't want to see anybody move up the corporate ladder in the workplace. And they see that you have a skill set, that you have potential. You're a good person. And then what they start doing to you is, once they start seeing this, right, and they know that they know that you need this job because you're working your ass off. You're working 10-hour days. You're coming in. You're the first one in and the last one out. You're working your ass off, and the boss sees this. What they start doing to you is they're gonna start saying things like, especially when you're coming up, when it comes time for promotion, they're gonna start saying things, and that's this is your narcissistic boss. They'll start things that you guys will probably sit in your office one day, and you've been working your ass off. You've been doing so well. They pull you into the office, and you're thinking in your head, "Ooh, I'm about to get that promotion. I'm so excited." And then your boss says, "I've been watching your performance lately, and you're not doing your job very well. You're not doing your job, and I'm not sure what's wrong with you. I'm not sure if you're not getting enough rest, but you're not doing your job, and you need to pull it together, or else I'm gonna have to let you go. So I'm gonna put you on a performance improvement plan, and once we see more improvement there, then we can perhaps look at getting you that promotion. But until then, you need to pull it together." And now you're scratching your head saying, now you're confused. Now you're scared. Now you feel like you're walking around on eggshells because you're scared of if they're going to come up to you and say something else to you. And what's going to happen as well is that they're going to start spreading the smear campaign about you in the workplace. They're going to start telling flat out lies about you to your coworkers. And then before you know it, now they want nothing to do with you. Now they're giving you the cold shoulder. Now you're walking into the office and then they're ignoring you. That person that you're working alongside with, you guys were getting along well. All of a sudden they're ignoring you. All of a sudden they're just walking past you. All of a sudden, you come in and say hi to them, and then they're not very excited to talk to you or see you. And now, what just happened? Well, what just happened is that your narcissistic boss, your workplace bully of a boss, they just went around and lied to other people about you, and they're jealous and envious of you because they see that you're better at your job than they're at their job, right? And they know that you have the potential to replace them, and they can't have that because nobody in the company or in the years that they've worked there has ever replaced them, and they can't have that. So they need to destroy your reputation, your good reputation, in order to puff themselves up. And this is what narcissists do. This is how they destroy and wreck people's lives. Think about, let's not talk about work, for example. Let's talk about, for example, a friendship, somebody you just met, for example, and you guys are friends, and it doesn't even have to be someone you just met, but it can be a good friend of yours, right? And they see that you're such a good person. You're always giving to them. You have so much respect for them. And out of nowhere, they start saying that you haven't been a good friend to me. You haven't been, spending enough time with me. Even though you guys just went on a trip or something like that to, the other side of the world or the other side of the city, and you guys spent time together and you guys had fun. And now you're scratching your head saying, but we just spent time together. And then now they give you the silent treatment, and now you're being ignored. And then you're just like, what the hell is going on here? Now you're doubting yourself if you're a good friend or not. What just happened there? Well, that friend is a narcissist, my friends. That friend is gaslighting you to make you doubt yourself so that they can control you, because their end game is to control you. And guys, all narcissists that are doing this to you, whether that's your spouse, whether that's at work, whether that's in your family, whether that's a friend, right? All these people, they know exactly what they're doing. And the truth is that they're doing it to multiple people at the same time. Right? But the thing is that you just don't know about it, because narcissists, they will never be honest with you. They can't be. Because if they're honest with you, that means that they have to be honest with everybody who they've destroyed, all the lives that they've blown up, all the people that they've driven wedges between, right? Narcissists can't be accountable, and their kryptonite is accountability. They lack that because it scares them. And if they're accountable, then that means it's going to cause a narcissistic injury for them that they will never recover from. Because all the ghosts, all the demons in their minds, all the demonic things are running around in their minds 24/7. It doesn't stop. That's why do you think narcissists are always on the go? Why do you think they're always doing something? Why do you think they always need to be busy? Now, I'm not saying everybody that is busy is a narcissist. I have to explain these things because people, they misinterpret things, and they have such black and white thinking that they can't just think of the fact that these people, I'm talking about narcissists here. No, I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about narcissists. Narcissists, they're doing it to more than one person, and they can't be accountable because it scares them. And all the ghosts make them always be on the go, because if they're not on the go, that means that they have to reflect, and they can't self-reflect because it's too painful for them. It's too scary for them to have to reflect on the person that they cheated on the spouse that they left in the dark about how that divorce is going to go through, or that person that or that company that they just committed fraud with, or that person that they just stole money from, because narcissists love money and they love other people's money more than their money. That's why they can squirrel away their money so effortlessly, even though you gave them probably thousands of dollars. And what happens is that once you've given all your money, and then they say, we don't have enough money. That's something my ex-wife would say at one point, even though I paid for the bills and thousands of dollars were, I just paid thousands of dollars to whatever she needed, you know what I mean? And took care of the house and things like that. She was saying things like, oh, we don't have enough money. And then now I'm confused. Now I'm going to get more money to pay for other things. And then she keeps saying that. And now I'm confused. And this is how narcissists confuse people. This is how they gaslight people, right? To get people doubting themselves and questioning their reality. That's why it's demonic, right? Because only the devil himself wants to confuse people. Only the devil himself is jealous of people, because the devil, you know what the devil hates? He hates human beings. Why does he hate human beings? Because human beings were created by God, right? And the devil is jealous of God, right? That's why when God created Lucifer in the Garden of Eden, when Lucifer was created, he was given everything, and he was a beautiful human being. And then what he did, because he was so jealous and he wanted to be king, what he did was he threw away all the things that God gave him. And then that's when the fall of humanity started, when the devil threw everything away and he was not satisfied. It's the same with the narcissist. And this is what's going to help you guys break free and let go of these people. You have to understand, narcissists are never satisfied. They always need to be doing something. They always need to be abusing someone. Nothing is ever good enough for them. You could be the most handsome guy in the world. You could be the most sexy woman or beautiful looking, attractive woman in the world. You could have all the money in the world. You could have 3 businesses and have million. You could even just have won the lottery. You could have come into an inheritance of money. You could have had this, or you could have had that, or you could have had a big house. And that would not be enough for the narcissist, because narcissists, they're always looking for something new. That's why there's old supply, and that's why there's new supply, right? Because narcissists always need something new. And that's why when they move from person to person or business to business, you have to understand narcissists see everything as supply, right? Everything on this planet for a narcissist is supply, right? If you got involved with the narcissist, you are just a supply, an energy source to get them from this part of their life to the next part. And then once they throw you away, throw your supply away, then they go off to another person's supply and do the same thing. The same narcissistic cycle. Love bomb, devaluation, discard, and then at times there's a Hoover. The Hoover is when the narcissist, if you're new to my channel, when the narcissist is checking to see, one, if you have healed, or if you have healed, or if you have figured out what narcissism is, or if you're still alive. They want to see if you're still alive, because they know that they've destroyed so many people before you, and they will be shocked to find out that the person that you are has actually survived. And chances are, if you're watching my video, you have survived and you've made it, just like I did, right? I went through this stuff for 28 years of my life. So within my family and within my 3.5-year marriage. And the total of 8 years I was with her. I went through it for 28 years of my life. And so I can talk about it because I know exactly what it's like, right? To have to deal with someone where nothing is ever good enough, right? Where, doing everything, cooking, cleaning, paying all the bills, planning events that were blown up, and, her not showing up and making excuses saying, even though we planned something months in advance, saying something like, I'm going to go spend time with my friend in this city this weekend or something like that. And then I'm saying, well, we planned this and you wanted it. And then she's just like, but I forgot. And then she still manages to go. So what I'm saying, guys, is that narcissists, they all do the same exact things. They all play by the same playbook, right? But the truth is that they do the playbook. They give different people different doses of the playbook based on what that person offers them, right? If that person has tons of money, the narcissist will keep them around for that amount of time until all that money runs out and then they're gone. Or the narcissist can keep that person around for a supply of sex. If the person's really good in the bed, the narcissist will keep them around for as long as they can to continue to ride them out until that person gets tired or they get a sexually transmitted disease, and then before you know it, that person lands in the hospital and now they're almost on the verge of dying, right? So all narcissists, they all do the same playbook. They all do the exact same things, right? And don't let the narcissist gaslight you, right? That's why I'm saying to people, you need to get in touch with your spiritual side a bit more. I talk about that in my channel a lot, because this narcissism thing, it's a spiritual warfare. That's why many people are physically strong. They might be physically strong. They might be mentally strong. They might be, every way possible strong. But most people, I would say 90% of people are not spiritually strong. Even the people that claim that they are, many of them are lying, because when the troubles of life come, they can't handle it. right? So what I'm saying, guys, is get in touch with your spiritual side a bit more. Start meditating. Start reading the Bible more so that God can give you strength, so that your mind can be sound and strong, so that people can't gaslight you into thinking that you are the one that's the problem. Because when the narcissist gaslights you, what they're doing really is they're really projecting onto you. They're putting all their insecurities and negativities onto you so that they can body swap. I talk about body swapping as well, so that you can be them and that they can be you, right? Because that's what narcissists want. That's why they they do that because they hate themselves. Right? Narcissists don't like themselves. They're scared of themselves. They're more scared of you than you are of them. Right? Because they're inside them, they're not original. They're not normal people. They have a disorder in their brain of the empathy part. The empathy part of their brain is missing, right? That's why they lack the ability to empathize. And that's the difference between somebody who's narcissistic and somebody who's just a toxic person, right? Who has challenges or who has borderline personality disorder, whatever other disorders out there that you know about, okay? So, yeah, guys, I hope that this video helped you out. That's what I wanted to talk about today, the fact that gaslighting is demonic. If you want a one-on-one session, please email me at paul.wisdom_03@hotmail.com, or you can send a text to 647-406-3057. Like I said, if you want to call, just send a text to the number and just let me know that you want to talk about your narcissistic experience. Or if you have questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm here for you guys. Like, subscribe, share it with somebody who you think could use the help, because you could be helping someone that doesn't even know that they need help. And some of this may even sound familiar today if you're watching my video today. Comment, because people are always trying to learn. I myself am always learning more about narcissism every day. And, it's helpful, because it's becoming an epidemic in the world. And more people need to be educated on this stuff because it's everywhere. All right. So thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you all have a good day. And until then, I hope to see you on the next video. Take care, guys.